Welcome back to Irish Outlaw Garage. If you haven't seen the channel before, I'm Jay. This is Artemis. Artemis is probably one of our more famous cars because he's an ambulance and a hearse and a coroner's car. Yep. People being saved, people being buried, and people being checked out. All right here in the back of this car. Found him in a swamp south of here, belonged to a local community's fire department for a long time. He's had the same plugs in him since I broke this cam in, which is not my MO. I normally wouldn't do anything like that, but I really ain't had time to really go through this thing, you know, to really tune it. So now he's a legal beagle. Plates, insurance, everything. We've had him on the road. But had a miss because the plugs were, well, they're fouled. I had a bunch of bad fuel come through there at No Name Nationals, and from an old tank I had, and I just never had. I thought maybe it'd clean itself up, but no, it didn't. I did get all the plugs out, and you can tell they're absolutely horrible. They're just terrible. Don't worry about this. I sprayed WD-40 down in there. But yeah, after a while it was running rich. It just wasn't firing. All of them are bad. So I bought new ones. R45 TS's. Now normally with the original heads on this motor, it would have taken the regular, you know, the old big plugs, the easiest way to put it. But these are 4X heads off of a later model 400, so it's got the tapered seat. So I put 45s in it to begin with. That was a recommendation by a Pontiac guy, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put them back in it. And hopefully he'll come around and he'll be ready to roll. And then I got other things. I gotta change the caps on the U-joint on the end of him because I put the wrong ones in it, but I just left it alone just to say that they were done. So that way we could take it to No Name Nationals. And I got that. I just bought a U-joint instead of trying to change the whole thing out. I just bought the same U-joint but with the inside clips, because you got to have those for the, you know, your U-bolts to hold those caps in. Right now they're just holding the caps. There's nothing keeping them from going out. So I got that. Make sure the tires are aired up good. I'm gonna make sure that I got all working headlights. I know all the lights work, turning signals work, the dash turning, but I think that might be a fuse because there's some stuff on the dash that ain't working. Man, it is 4th of July and I have sweat rolling right down the old crack. Not a fan at all. Well, I wonder what these are gapped at right out of the box. 45 sounds good. Originally this would have been a points. Even with these heads, it would have been a points. But I've heard anything from 40 to all the way up to 60 if you get the X, but they don't have those. So we're just gonna put the tapered seats in it and be done. Just like that. Make sure I put the wrong plug wire on it. I think I got these messed up. And of course I didn't mark number 1 like an idiot. I think it's that one. I'll find out, won't I? Kinda, if you do it right, they'll sit right where they need to be. Yep, it's this one. I'll double check it, I swear. Just gotta kinda go through some electrical things, and I'll swear I'll pick that up. I clean these heads up really well whenever I put them back in. And I did that because I don't like messing with plugs that won't go in and out. I mean, I cleaned the threads, I did everything. Pontiac did a good job of making everything accessible on these plugs except for when you have air conditioning. Then that plug, which is number 2, remember something on a Pontiac, number 1 is behind number 2. It's kind of different. You know, you have 1, 2, 3, you know, well, be 1357, but number 2 cylinder is ahead of number 1. Don't get that mixed up just because you think that that one's ahead of it. It's number 1. It's not. It's number 2. Pontiac's number 1's over here, and it's set back. So anyway, on the air conditioning, there's only one way to get that plug. You can fight and fight and fight and bust your knuckles and try everything to get underneath that bracket that's on these. It's easier to just take the wheel off and run extensions through, and you can get it right down in there. So keep that in mind. If you ever revive one of these or have an old Bonneville or anything, a lot of times the plug is accessible through the wheel well. There's a little flap there, you can lift it up and it'll go right down in there. You'll need an elbow and stuff, and you know, that's why whenever you bring them in to get them done, they say, oh man, we got to take that whole air conditioning system off. No, you don't. No, you don't. At all. That's how I changed them whenever this car came home. When I first got it running, when everybody said it wouldn't, and I've got video of that somewhere. If I can find it, I'll put it on something. But yeah, I got this thing running and it was full of rust. I couldn't get it to turn. Went and bought a brand new starter, stuck it in there, and just wailed on it. And I figured if I ruin the flywheel or anything, or the flex plate or anything, I'm gonna have to pull the motor anyway. So I just did it, and I'll be damned if I didn't have it started about a half hour later. This one surprised me that I got it running, but it was just too bad on the inside. The heads where the exhaust manifolds come to it, they were all rusted and broke, and it just, no. I knew I was gonna have to do something. Cam was all rusty. Took the intake off and it was just a rust pit. There was no slime, no sludge, it was just rusty. Too much water got in, that's all. Too much water. R45TS. I did notice on this one too, my oil pan gasket kind of spread out on me. It's just how it goes. Pontiac's interesting cars. The motors and everything else, they really are. Back in the day, these Pontiac V8s, other than you don't want to get too bored out on them because they'll come into heating issues, man, these things were all around just everything you wanted in an engine. They're one of the best motors ever made, and they only got better up until, you know, the government stepped in. That's when they kind of went downhill and they started making that 301, which, by the way, it's a horrible performance engine, but as far as longevity, as long as you kept the oil changed in them, man, they suckers have run forever. Them and that 307, just great motors are just dogs. Horrible for performance. I mean, that's why there's so many, you know, Trans Ams and everything out there, and Grand Prix that they got Chevy motors in them, because nobody would give up their good Pontiacs, 350 on up, which 350 Pontiac's a great little engine, but nobody would give them up. And so people just started, you know, it's easy to take A body or B body or G body or what is it, F bodies. You can just swap this stuff around because they're all the same. It's just easier to do it that way. If you got somebody that knew what they were doing with one of these, boy, especially a 455, that thing was a monster. Is a monster. It was a monster if you didn't build it. I'm rambling. This is just a talking film, huh? We're just bullshitting. That's what we used to do anyway. Anymore, everybody gets so offended by everything. We're just having a good day, even though it's hot. But I'll take hot over cold any day. I do plan to get the heat and the air and everything working in this, because Amber's gonna drive this thing like crazy. I think I got them. They're all good. Okay, let's give her a ring, see what she does. Oh, keys are in it, that's great. Somebody could steal our car. Like, that'd be a fun one to try to get away with. Nope. Got them backwards. Flat screwdriver. Well, bull. Well, that ain't good. Tells you how bad it was running, actually. £50 at idle, 195-ish. I think we're good. Okay, so the idea is we're going to take that off, and I got the same exact U-joint, but it has inside clips. I'm just going to take 2 of those inside clips off, and I didn't have time to, you know, we started looking, and I don't remember which U-joint we put in this except for the fact of the size. So instead of trying to order one, I just, you know, U-joints are cheap. I just bought another U-joint with the clips. It should be fine. We'll find out though. Really is no good way to film this. This thing close and tight quarters. There we go. There we go. I was doing things 5 or 10 times. That probably ain't gonna fit that one, is it? Nope. God damn it. Oh, no, it is. Close enough. Just get them loose enough where I can slide them out. And I can't see a damn thing with my glasses on under here. Typical. There we go. Give me those. Oh, good catch. Thank you. Jacks with the save. I just want to get these out, and I'll take these 2 caps off, and we'll just compare them with what I have. There's one set. Ow, and that is poking me horribly. Ouch. Well, I guess I should have put it in frickin' park. We're in drive. Now I can't get my arms in there. Damn it. God dang. This end, it's probably gonna strip. Yep. Because these things are cheap. Pittsburgh. But whatever. I really don't like being underneath this car. That's why the jack's in the way. I got 2 jack stands under it and the jack, because it's easier when you're screaming for help that you can just come, you know, move the jack. Oh, it's 4th of July, by the way, and there's fireworks going on. That's fine. We're just filming over here. No, that's fine. Celebrate the 4th all you want. We all should. Some people need to learn what it's about, though, because they sure have forgotten what America is. Without getting political. Now that is political anymore. America is great. No, it's not. No, it's not. That is. Because in any other country, if you complained as much as you do, you'd be dead. I'm sorry if I offended you. That's sarcasm. Because I really don't give a flying if I offend you. You just come here too. Don't you go flying off on me. There you go. Good job. See, that could have been horrendous. if I would have let that keep going, because there wasn't anything holding in the U-joint in the back. That's why we didn't take it very far. So I need to take these caps off, and let's go see if our other ones are the same. Probably not. I'm probably screwed. That's just how it goes. Waller my back out of here. Damn. How'd this get so hard? Please, please, oh please be the right one. Hey. Looks like it. I don't know, this may be a thing where we have to take the caps into O'Reilly's itself. Oh boy. Nope, they're not. Dang it. Well, that just leaves us one option. Take this back. I need to go to town anyway and get a headlight for this because I broke it. I was trying to test to see if it would still work, and they're bad, but still. All I need to do is get the same cap. I wonder if do these have their numbers on them? Of course not. Why stamp a number on anything so you don't have to go rooting around? The only other option I got is anyway. Alright, let me double check some. We may have to go to town. Okay. So I got the old U-joint out, or actually it's a new U-joint. And that's this one right here. It was what I could find to make it work at the time, but it is completely wrong. This is the right one. Compliments of our friend Dalton over at Pole Barn Garage. I totally forgot about these. There's two different size caps on this car, but it doesn't show that when you look it up in the books. But this is your main off your drive shaft, and this goes on the yoke, and that's how I had it. But if you notice the difference, look at the length difference. You see that? That's because these go underneath the bands, the U-clips in the back, and I totally forgot about that. This is a 372. If you're ever messing with the Pontiac, Olds, Buick, anything like that, basically it's a 3R 1310. So you got a 3R and a 1310 mixed, and this will allow this to go inside so the U-bolts go over the top and hold that in tight. Okay? And yeah, this is fun to take off under the car, because in order to take the U-joints or anything on this, you got to take the whole drive shaft out, and it's got its own carrier, it's got everything, and it all unbolts, and you have to lift it all the way out. Luckily the other U-joints are good, but this one was destroyed when I got the car. So I know it's windy, but I'm gonna stick this back in. It's just a U-joint, guys, nothing major. I do have a puller, but I can't find it, so I've been using a hammer and doing everything the wrong way. But let me go stick this in real quick. I'll bet it's perfect. Never mind, wrong one. Back to the parts store we go. Back from O'Reilly's. Turns out it takes a 433. That's the exact match to the Spicer that I bought a long time ago that fit it perfectly. This doesn't show up in the regular book or on the computer, but in the regular book, if you scroll your eyeballs all the way down to the very bottom, there's some little bitty fine print that you almost need a magnifying glass. Optional U-joint uses. This one popped up. Has inside and outside clip, and it's the exact size that I need. O'Reilly's missed it, I missed it, and I'm an old parts guy. I knew better. Melissa at O'Reilly, she knew better. We both just kind of went, whatever, okay, here it is. So let me see if I can get this in. Well, the drive shaft's in. It's fitting. It fit. But I got a problem. I think the fuel pump went bad, and I think the fan clutch went bad, So just another day in paradise, but whatever. That's probably gonna do it, this stupid little video. I hope you hate it. Make sure you comment, tell me how much you hate it. So take care of yourself. Like, subscribe, share if you want. See ya.